The fact that high school graduations are cancelled is not a big deal, and people need to stop acting like it's the worst thing that's happened in recorded history. While it's fun to celebrate the fact that high school is over, I've seen theatrics all over social media about the fact that the ceremony is cancelled, and it really isn't a big deal. It's just a ceremony, you walk and get your diploma. Would it be fun to throw your cap in the air? Sure. Is it really the end of the world that you're getting your diploma in the mail? Absolutely not. I don't know why people are acting like the sky is falling because high school graduation is off. I'm 2 years removed from high school and can comfortably say that having a graduation ceremony is not a life-changing experience. If anything, graduating high schoolers are getting more attention than any class before them. So stop complaining. This opinion also doesn't make me insensitive. It's one thing to be bummed out that your graduation was cancelled, and it's another to fall all over yourself and go out of your way to act like the world is ending. I do feel bad for people graduating college who aren't able to have a graduation. That's a genuine accomplishment. The funniest thing is when people say poor high school graduates of 2020, not only do they not get to do graduation, but they were born in the same year 9/11 happened, acting like being born around the time 9/11 happened is some terrible or traumatic event, as if any of us even remember it. As far as it goes, it really isn't a big deal. I've never sat through a graduation ceremony, mine or anyone else's, that was fun. That being said, as a teacher, and someone who enjoyed the hell out of my senior year in high school, I do feel bad that the school year essentially ended when it did. Graduation is only one of the few special things that seniors get toward the end of their last year of high school. This year's class essentially had to work through all of the boring school parts of their senior year, and missed out on many of the cool activities that seniors of all previous years got to enjoy. That's the part that makes me feel for them the most. I don't think it's the graduation that people are sad about missing. It's going into quarantine without getting a proper goodbye to your friends. After coronavirus passes, they will be expected to go off to college after all. I wish both my high school and college graduations were cancelled. I didn't know that anyone besides parents gave a shit. I didn't even attend mine. I'd rather just have the day off. No regrets. I'm a senior, and while I'm not really upset about graduation, for me it's more about prom and our senior trip and all the other shit that got cancelled. It's all the memories I didn't have a chance to make, and graduation is kind of a symbol of that for a lot of people. I agree that some people are overreacting, but I see where they're coming from. I was looking forwards to having a final rollout with my friends and going to cookout, and that got taken unfairly. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it sucks. It really sucks. Of course it isn't the worst thing to ever happen. However, my GF's little sister just graduated, and she explained it as truly missing the last few months of high school with her friends whom she may or may not get that time with again. For a lot of kids, it's about enjoying those last moments before heading out into the world to do whatever it is they choose. It's easy for those of us that experienced and can see in hindsight it wasn't a big deal. Harder to comprehend and accept for the ones it actually affects. I agree that this is an unpopular opinion. Regardless of what the goal is, anything you've worked 18 years to achieve deserves a celebration when they achieve it. Being the one class out of the past 100 classes to be denied that celebration is a complete suckfest. I'll be honest with you, last month my wife and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary at home with a disappointing takeout meal. It honestly didn't bother me all that much that our second honeymoon vacation was cancelled, because people are suffering out there. It did, however, mean a lot to my wife, and for that I am extremely disappointed. Life isn't fair. We didn't deserve this, the kids graduating HS and college don't deserve it, and the people getting sick definitely don't deserve it. That's just life, but it doesn't diminish my empathy for anyone denied something they deserve during these times. In Scotland you don't really graduate anything till college or university. Once you finish school you get your qualifications through the post box and that's it. I personally don't understand why you would celebrate something as meager as finishing school. No disrespect intended, this is just my opinion. I remember I had a teacher in high school who talked about how in many Western cultures, high school graduation is really the only community-wide celebration you get of your passage into adulthood. That always stuck with me and seems applicable here. People can be sad that they're missing out on that. Should they be so vocal about it on social media? Probably not, in light of all the other serious tragedies this pandemic has brought for others. But since when do high schoolers, or moms on Facebook, have tact? I think since most adults view their high school years as far in the past, it seems like kids are making it a big deal, but we also gotta realize that to those kids, K-12 has been their entire lives. To them it feels much bigger than to us. It's a pretty big milestone, the biggest in their lives thus far, although personally I was in a graduating class of like 800 and it went on for fucking ever. I didn't really give a shit about it, but I was just cool like that. I never cared about it. I always thought that graduation should be celebrated between family and close friends. Upvoted because definitely unpopular. People are allowed to grieve the things they were looking forward to that now don't get to happen. No, it is not the end of the world that they didn't have a graduation ceremony, but that doesn't mean they can't be sad. People are making a big deal about it because graduations are a big deal, even if you are privileged enough to think high school graduation isn't one. Let people cope with this how they need to. If you don't want to make a big deal out of it, don't make a big deal out of it. For me, I didn't care about graduation, but the 2 weeks of graduation with ball, grad parties, banquets were like the 2 best weeks of my life. This is why I feel bad for the seniors this year. I am graduating this year. I could give 2 shits whether I walk or not. In fact, I would rather opt out even if I had a choice. Regardless of what I feel, the thing that bothers me is my mom's feelings. She has been looking forward to seeing her kids graduate since we were born, since none of her family went to hers. I'm the 3rd and final kid, and the only one that has graduated. She cried for a long time when my brother didn't graduate, then again with my sister. She's waited 23 years to see one of her kids finally graduate, and now that's not going to happen. I've seen her cry about it too, which really fucks me up. Like I said, I don't care about graduation, I just want my diploma. I just feel bad that she's being deprived of seeing at least one of her kids graduate when she's been looking forward to it for so long.